Well, Labor Day weekend, holiday weekend, a lot of folks work out, exercise. It's going to be hot today. A lot of folks run in the park, perhaps, but sometimes running can make us feel worse. Running injuries are some of the most common workout injuries.
Yeah, Duke Castiglione is here now with how to prevent those injuries. A lot of people start training for the marathon now.
The marathon's only 2 months away.
Marathon season,
2nd, This is the time of year when people try to cram all the training they've missed in. So it's like, okay, now it's time to go to the doctor. Well, if you're running, you're like me, and you've experienced knee pain or pain in your feet, I battle plantar fasciitis, which is the all-time worst. Or you want to improve your runs, make them more enjoyable. This next story and book we're about to tell you about will definitely help.
Walk or even run into Central Park. Take a look around. What do you see? Joggers. Really, anywhere you go around the tri-state area, you'll see people running. Some just to get or stay in shape. Some training for full or half marathons. And oftentimes that leads to injury. Dr. Vijay Vad, a physician at Hospital for Special Surgery who specializes in sports medicine, is here to help with his new book, The New Rules of Running: 5 Steps to Run Faster and Longer for Life.
I'm seeing a ton of running injuries. Number one, running, the participation has gone through the roof. If you look at half marathon, the number of participants in the half marathon, I mean, we researched over 3,000 articles for this book. We came up with a ton of data. If you just look at half marathon in a focus, the numbers have gone through the roof. First-time runners, women over 50 is the largest increase in the group in half marathoners. So the participation in running, organized running as a sport, is at an all-time high, but which also means if you don't train properly, you're going to get injured.
In order to prevent injury, to run faster, and really make running more enjoyable, Dr. Vad has come up with 5 rules he uses in his practice and as a runner himself.
Number one, there's a unique running form for every type. Okay. Number 2, nutrition and hydration are essential. Number 3, learn to endure, which means you need to run to be sport-specific trained in running, but don't overrun and get injured. Number 4, speed is strength in disguise, which means you need a strong upper body as well as lower body. And number 5 is really rest is the most important part of training for any type of runs.
That's hard for somebody like me who has OCD and wants to do it all the time.
Yeah, you can't be type A+++ personality, and if you overtrain, it's going to backfire.
So when you talk about rest, I go maybe rest 1 day a week, maybe. What's the proper rest?
So I think to me, if you say to me, what's the crux of this book, The New Rules of Running, is that we have a 10-day cycle. Instead of a 7-day, 1-week cycle, we have a 10-day cycle. And in those 10 days, you get 2 rest days. So it's very important, and it adds up as you're going through your training regimen that you're getting enough rest.
We also made a trip to Dr. Vad's office at Hospital for Special Surgery and checked out my left knee and my right foot, which tend to bother me when I run. And we found out I, without question, need to work on my strength and flexibility.
So, the general rule of thumb is stretch before you run. Probably one of the best stretches is just walking for 4 to 5 minutes before you run. We call it dynamic stretch. Is probably one of the most important stretches you can do. And then you can strengthen after you run, but don't do strengthening before running, because you're fatiguing your muscles and causing injuries.
The book also has training schedules for half and full marathons and running for weight loss in life, as well as the mental side of running. And anyone that runs knows about the so-called wall and bonking.
So the book has we have a whole section on hitting the wall and a few things you can do about it. A lot of it is mental. You're not going to be an elite runner unless you learn to endure when you hit the wall.
So I've taken a couple steps from this. I'm actually trying to back off, learn how to rest a little bit more.
Yeah.
I have a big problem with that. And
1 day a week, Duke, is not enough.
well, his plan makes a lot of sense. Think about it. 10 days, you should take 2 days off in those 10 days. But it makes a big difference because your body does need time to heal, and you can't train properly if you're always injured.
Right.
So that makes sense. I did try yesterday. I tried walking 3 or 4 minutes before I actually started my run, and it was especially helpful because yesterday was a run early in the morning, and the blood's not going yet, and everything else. So that seemed to help a lot, but. Take the time to stretch afterwards, and even ice if you can.
Yeah. Some good advice.
Yeah, it was a really good book, and I've struggled, as I said, with that plantar fasciitis. Anybody that's ever had that knows how painful that is. So there's some good tips in there combat that as well.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Duke. Thanks for sharing
Thank
with
you.
us. I know you've run marathons before.
Yeah, I've battled knee pain before, and the key is rest and stretching.
You know, the funny thing is I didn't realize how bad my form was
Until you
and
saw
why
the
my
video.
right hip always hurts. Then
So
I
you
watched the
watched it
video, I'm like, oh boy.
Oh, man.
All right, Duke, thank you very much.